Hi, I'm Margaret Lewin and welcome to Margaret Lewin Quilting. Today we're going to continue to work on our Beatle bag. We're going to be doing the pincushion, which is filled with walnut shells, and we're going to be doing our pockets. So if you'd like to see how I did it, stay tuned and I'll show you how. We're starting to work on is my pincushion. Okay, I've got 2 layers of fabric, and according to the pattern I have put them together wrong sides together. So here, I'll open it and you can see got wrong sides together, and I have attached the loop portion again of the soft velcro that's in your kits if you bought a kit. According to the directions, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this in half, all right, and I'm going to stitch it, just our normal 1/4 inch seam up both of these sides. Once I've done my 1/4 inch seam, I think to give it a little bit more strength and stability, I'm also going to zigzag these 2 seams. Now I don't want to sew across this because that is actually my opening, because the next thing we're going to be doing is filling it with crushed walnuts. So I'm going to stitch my 1/4 inch on both sides, and then I'll be back to show you what that looks like. So here's my piece that I've sewn together. You can see it's got it's right on both sides, but if I open it up and let you peek inside, there's the right side. Whoop, there's the right sides too. Okay, so what I've done on this, and I think you can see, is I did my straight stitch first and I back stitched at the beginning and at the end. Then I did a zigzag, back stitched at the beginning and at the end. The other thing that I did when I sewed this together was I started here at the folded part and I stitched down to here. Now I very well could have just come over here and stitched back this way, but I didn't want to, because if my piece hadn't been perfectly folded, really straight and flat, I could have ended up with a wave by going this way, or a pocket or a pleat or whatever you want to call it. So that's why I stitched it in that manner. So again, I started here, stitched down, cut my thread, came back up here, started here, and stitched down. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is turn it right side out, and it shouldn't be too difficult to do. At least I hope it's not. I'm just going to push it through there and get it up on the other side. Here we go. Now it's all in there. And that's exactly what I'm doing, is just pulling it out. I have, however, grabbed, what is the name of this? I've grabbed this little wooden skewer. You can get these at your local grocery store. They're dirt cheap. I think I paid $1.55 for 100 of them. So they're pretty inexpensive. But they're nice because they're long and they have a really blunt end on one end and a really sharp end on the other. So they're great for turning things around, especially when they're long and you can't necessarily easily get to it with something that's already in your sewing supplies. So here I go. I'm just going to take it and poke my corner. And I'm going to poke this corner. All right. And let me get that one out just a little bit better. The nice thing is this blunt end really is blunt, so it doesn't tend to go through the fabric. All right, so there it is. I am going to take mine over to the ironing table, and I'm just going to press it a little bit just because I want to try to flatten these seams out a little bit. So what I'm probably, let me see if it'll fit. What I'm going to do is put this right inside of my strip stick. All right, and then I'll press this down, and I'll do it on both sides. I'll show you what it looks like when I get done. I've pressed what will be my pincushion, and you can see here I've turned in the edges a little bit. So now it's time for the crushed walnuts. I did grab my pins so that once I get my walnuts in there, I can pin this closed so that they don't end up spilling all over the place, or at least I hope they don't. So I'm going to try to do this one-handed, no guarantees here. I hope I don't make a huge mess. Started getting it filled up, and I want to show you what I'm going to do. I'm making a mess, which is par for the course. Here's my pincushion, and I have started filling it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the stick, and I'm just going to stick it down in there just to try to push those shells down just a little bit tighter, a little bit more compact. And then I'll switch it to the other side, just kind of push them in there a little bit. And it really does help. It may not look like it does much, but it does help push them down. So I'll stick my funnel back in there, and here we go again. We're just gonna add some more until I want it really pretty full. I want it pretty good and tight. So I'm gonna keep filling it until this is probably gonna be my last one, because I don't think I can get much more in there. Yeah, in fact, I may have to take some out. All right, there's that done. So now I'm gonna try to push it down a little bit more, see if I can get it down. I'm gonna use the stick again and see if that helps me to get some more down there. Because if it doesn't, I'm gonna have to take some out. All right, well, it helped a little bit, but I don't think I can. Let's see how far we get it to go down. This little stick does help doing this. It truly does. I know it looks weird, but it does help to push them down in there so that they're all nice and compact. The flat end works better than the pointed end. And, yep, here we go. All right, let's see how close we are. And yeah, I do still need to take some out, I think. I'm gonna put a pin across it and see what it looks like. Let's see if I can make some more slide down. Well, I'm bouncing them out too. I think that's pretty good. I think I can actually get away with it the way it is. Just so you know, I gave it a shot trying to sew it on my sewing machine, and it absolutely did not work. So I am going to take this in the house with me tonight, and I will hand stitch this closed as was suggested in the pattern. So the pattern's right, and I was wrong. So I'll do that tonight. In the meantime, it's time to get the soft side of the Velcro on the bag. I've laid my bag out, and according to the directions, I've used my stiletto again to just draw a line as to where that's gonna go. So I'm gonna follow the measurements on the directions, and I am going to sew my soft-sided Velcro right where it goes. So I'll come back once that is all sewn down, and I'll actually place my crushed walnuts there so that you can see what it's going to look like. So here's my piece of Velcro all sewn on, and then what's going to happen is my pincushion is just going to attach right there like that. Now isn't it just going to be adorable? I'm getting so excited. All right, so that's where that's going to go once I get this sewn correctly. So I got to sew that down first before I go really messing with it. What we're going to be doing next is making darts on all 4 of our corners. All right, so there's my 4th corner. I'm going to read through the directions and figure out exactly how we're supposed to do this, and then I'll be back. All right, I'm going to try to get this nice and... All right, there. We're going to get this nice and up close for you so that you can see it, because I can't show you... I'm not going to show you the measurement. We're going to get this real close so that I can show you what's going on. There's a couple of measurements that you have to take, and if you follow the directions, you will have no problems doing it at all, okay? I made my first mark right here. I made my second mark right here, and then I just drew a line diagonally through them. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stitch right down that line. All right, I'm going to do that to all 4 sides, and then I will show you what it looks like. All right, so I've sewn all 4 of my darts. I'll turn it over and show you. All my darts are sewn, and I've trimmed them per the instructions. It was my clover marker, and what it does is it's got this little wheel in it, and a yellow chalk gets put down on it. But I want to show you something. It doesn't easily come away. So please don't use it on the front of your fabrics, okay? I only use it when I know it's going to be buried, and I don't have to worry about it being on the fabric that shows through. The next thing is to start making our pockets, right? And I've stacked my stuff together, and this is how I've stacked it. I've stacked it with my accent pocket. So this is going to be the little band across the top. I have put my outside pocket and then my foam. And according to the pattern, I'm going to stitch all the way down, then across the bottom, and then back up. I am not going to stitch that down, this side down, and I'm not going to turn it right side out yet. So let's get this stitched on all 3 sides, and then we will proceed to the next step. Okay, you can see here that I've sewn on all 3 sides. So that's all sewn. One of the things that I like about Soft and Stable is it is very easy to sew through. There's really not a lot of problems. When I started down this side, what I did was just slow down a little bit. You know, I didn't try to go into it at a high speed. And here's my second one. So they're both done. The next thing I'm going to do is just trim my corners. So I'm just going to clip these corners, and that just reduces the bulk on the inside corners of the pocket. Let me pick up my pieces here. I got 2 more to trim. And then according to the directions, once I've done this, I need to turn it right side out again. I need to turn it right side out. So that's what I'm going to do next. And to turn it right side out, to give me a little bit of help, I'm going to grab my skewer again. And this is just a shish kebab skewer. So you can get those at your local grocery store without any issues. Let's see. So the next thing we're going to do is press this, because the directions tell us that once we get it turned, we need to press it. So I am going to go in with my strip stick, and I'm going to press this down just a little bit. But before I do that, I'm going to take my little skewer and I'm going to poke my corners right out. There, that's a better corner. And there's my second corner, much better. There, doesn't it look nice? I love the fact that I got this in here. I kind of fussy cutted that a little bit because I wanted that in the pocket so badly. So now I'm going to turn the other one right side out. Here I go again. Here we go. And I'm turning it. I'll turn this one. Then there we go. Almost there. So here it is. Look, aren't those just the cutest? Oh, I'm so excited about this. Right. Now I'm going to take my skewer again, and I'm just going to poke it up through there and just poke out my corners here. So I want nice corners. There's one. Well, that one was pretty good to begin with. There's 2. All right, so here's my 2 pieces. The next thing that I need to do per the directions is press these. Once I've pressed these, then I am going to be sewing down the top of them. I got to sew down both of the tops so that they lay flat, and I'm going to need to top stitch them. So press them first, then I'm going to turn the top edge to the inside, and then I am going to top stitch across the edge, and then I'm going to add a second row of top stitching. I'm going to show you this. When I'm ironing it, I don't know if you can see it, but I can see there's a little bit of fabric there to the back side fabric. It's kind of pulling through, and I don't want that on the front. I just want to see my front fabric. So what I'm going to do when I press this is I'm going to go from the back side and I'm going to roll it just a little bit, using a little bit of pressure, just kind of push it to where I want it to be versus where it wants to be. And then see, look how much nicer that is. Just lays really nice. I got the same thing going on over here. See how you can see that little bit there? So I'm going to just take it with my fingernails, just kind of push it in a little bit till it gets to be where I want it to be. And then I'm going to bring the iron and I'm just going to press it or iron it. See? It's just kind of rolling over for me. And then what's going to happen is it's going to be nice on this side, which is really where I care about it. See? You really, I mean, you can see it a little bit, but that's because I'm turning it so you can. So now I'm going to press down the front. See, now isn't that just the cutest? This isn't quite the way I want it, so I'm going to do the same thing. Just going to manipulate the bottom of it a little bit and press it. And it will still lay flat. Isn't that just the cutest? All right, now I need to press this part. There we go. There is our 2 pressed pieces. So there are my 2, with an extra thread, 2 pressed pieces. Per the directions, I have folded it under the amount that it was requested to fold it under, and now I'm going to top stitch it. But I folded it, I did it 2 different ways. One of them I measured here and here, folded it under, and then pressed it. When I did the second one, I folded it under first at the seams and did my gauge to how far in it was, and this was the gauge that I used. So I folded it in as far as I was told to, and then I pressed it on the 2 outside seams first. Then I did my 2 centers on the inside, and it worked out better doing the outsides first. So I did these 2 outsides first, and then the center, and then the whole piece. Than it did doing the centers first, then the outsides. So try to do your outsides first, and then do your insides, okay? Right. So here are my 2 pieces. I want you to see what I did. So here's one that's not folded yet, see? And here's the one folded. So I stitched from this side, from my back side, or what's going to be my accent fabric, because I wanted this side to make sure that I was really straight and lined up well, because this is actually the side that's going to show. So then I pressed it. I'm going to turn it over like this, and I'm just going to stick a couple wonder clips in there because I really want this to stay down, and I want it to be right there for me. So I'm going to stick 2 of them on here, on each one. Make sure that I'm smooth and flat. And now I am, I think. Yep. Okay, now I'm good. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm just going to fold it over. Okay. And then stick 2 clips in it to hold it together. Now that I've done that, I need to grab my bag, the inside of my bag, which is right here. I need to reference on my pattern where these 2 pockets need to go. But I want to show you how cute they're going to be. Look at this. Isn't that just the cutest? I think it is absolutely adorable. I am going to find out exactly where these are supposed to measure to be, and I will clip them down. I'll actually end up pinning them down, And then I'm going to top stitch around the 3 sides to secure them. And then we are ready to start working on the outside of our Beatle bag. Thank you so much for sticking around while I showed you how I did the pincushion and the pockets on our Beatle bag. What's up next on the Beatle bag, we'll be doing our straps and putting it together, and then our binding. So we're almost done. Thanks so much for joining me. Don't forget to join us over on our Facebook group, Margaret Lewin Quilting. And don't forget to go out and check out Abby Lane Quilts Design. She's got some really gorgeous things out there. Thanks so much, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.